Hello, everybody. It's Marcus from PageProof here for another PageProof Academy, this time on users, team members, and groups, which we'll talk about towards the end. So what I'm going to go through today is looking at what a user is in PageProof, what a team member is, and there is a difference there, which I want to just cover off at the beginning to make sure that we have a very clear idea of exactly what that means. So let's get straight into it. I'm actually going to go straight into PageProof, and we're going to go through and actually look at these inside products so you've got a tie-in to what exactly I'm talking about. So let's just have a quick look here inside of my PageProof setup screen. So the first thing I wanted to just talk about here was a user. What is a user? What is a reviewer? So in PageProof, the concept of someone who's able to review is essentially anybody who's inside of the workflow. So the workflows, as you may know, you can click here and you can put in a new workflow. You can add steps into workflows and put people into these workflow steps. Now, people that go into these workflow steps, they will be your reviewers and they're also your users. And these people do not need to be part of your team, which is something I'll come to. So you can put any email address you like into this field here to put people onto your proof. So that means that you might be putting people inside of here that are inside your organization. That's fine. Or it might be somebody outside of your organization. It might be somebody on a Gmail account. It might be a copywriter, or it could be, a customer or anything that you like. So reviewers, people inside of this workflow, these people are not licensed in any way in PageProof, and you can have as many as you like. So you could have 10,000 reviewers across 45 different companies. It doesn't mean anything to us. That's up to you. So that's great. So we can put people into this workflow just by putting in their email address. So if I start going in here and start typing, you'll see that because I have typed in this email address previously, this person is in my address book. And I'll come to the address book very, very soon, but I can put a person in here and you'll see that I've got a default role of reviewer. So I've put Marcus into my workflow. And Marcus is a reviewer, which means can comment and can leave a decision. All right. So there are various roles and permissions inside of PageProof workflows. We do have a webinar that talks about these in detail, but I will just cover them off so we get some context here so people are able to actually just relate to what I'm talking about. So this little pop down on the side, if you click into here, you'll see that you can make somebody mandatory if you want to. So a reviewer is a basic, hey, I can leave comments and I can leave a decision. If you go mandatory, you'll see that this changes to an orange color. The role changes to orange and it says the workflow is going to wait for this reviewer to leave a decision. So this person can comment, this person can leave a decision, and actually PageProof really, really cares whether this person leaves a decision because it makes a judgment about whether it moves on to the next step of the workflow. So mandatory means this person must see it and we need their decision before we decide to move on to the next stage of the workflow. So that is the difference between a reviewer and mandatory. Reviewer can comment, reviewer can leave decisions, but PageProof isn't looking out for their decision. Mandatory, same thing, but PageProof is caring about their decision greatly. Now the next role is Gatekeeper. And you can see it's orange again. Decides whether the proof continues on in the workflow or is returned to the proof owner with to-dos, with a to-do list. So Gatekeeper goes a level up again. And Gatekeeper can leave comments, they can make a decision. Their decision does matter about how the workflow is going to flow, but the extra thing they get is the ability to stop the workflow and return a to-do list back to the proof owners to say, hey, I think we need to make all of these changes before we go any further. All right, so that's the definition of a gatekeeper. Quite a powerful role. Use it where you know that you want to use it. Don't just make everybody gatekeeper because it will slow down the progression of your proof through the workflow. So those are the roles that you will see on all of the PageProof plans: reviewer, mandatory, and gatekeeper. Now, you'll see at the top of my little menu here, there is one that says view only. View only is a PageProof enterprise feature, and this is where you can add stakeholders to your workflow steps who just want to be almost CC'd on the proof. They don't really want to comment. They just want to know that it's there. So these are usually, C-suite or execs who just want to be part of the proofing but you don't want them to comment, or they don't want to comment. So there's no comment or decision for them. So that's the view only role, which is available on PageProof Enterprise. Okay, so that's running through all of the different roles for a user. And as I said, these people can be inside of your organization, they can be outside of your organization. It doesn't matter at all to PageProof. So you can have as many people as you like inside your PageProof plan. Now, you'll notice I'm inside of a workflow here. A couple of things I wanted to point out. Workflows in PageProof can have unlimited steps, so we have no restrictions on how many steps you can have. And you have unlimited workflow templates. So you can have as many templates as you like on all plans inside of PageProof. So something to remember, don't think you need to sort of keep your workflow templates limited. You can have as many as you like, and we don't limit you on how many steps you can have in your workflow. Knock yourselves out, put in there exactly the flows that you need, and put in the people that you need, because again, we don't mind if they're internal or external to your organization. Okay, so let's move on now to my team. So what is a PageProof team? What is a team member? So a team member is somebody that works with you on your proofing and they're able to send proofs out from inside of your account, and they're able to see additional features and things as if they're a team. They are a team member belonging to your team, and those are managed in a different place. So if you go to your menu at the top of the screen here, and if you have the team menu, this was because you're a team administrator, you'll be able to come in and go to team members. Now inside team members, you go to this area, you can see all the people that are inside of your team. So these are people who have access to your PageProof account. They are different to reviewers on a workflow. These people have more access. They belong to your team. So what does that mean? Well, these people you can add as owners to your proof. They're able to upload proofs. They can upload new versions, all of the things that you'd want them to be able to do. And you can simply invite them just by going to invite team, pop in the email addresses in here of the people you'd like to join your team, and send out the invite, and they'll be able to accept the invitation and belong to your team. That's great. Now this area here, the team members, this is where you can see all the people that belong to your team. You can also go in and make some adjustments. So you can click on the three dots here and go edit, and you can come in and you can put their name in, and you can change their avatar if you want. There are going to be more options coming into here, particularly for PageProof Enterprise customers. You'll be able to set attributes and all sorts of things in the future for this. And you'll also notice inside of here that you can switch people on to become team admins just like you are. So if you're in an organization and you think, oh, I need someone else to be able to manage teams and look at the team dashboard and do things from an administration point of view, if I go on annual leave, this is where you can come in and you can nominate another person to be a team admin. You can have as many team admins as you like. All right, so that, if you switch on team admin, gives them the ability to see the team menu in this main menu. And if you click into that, you'll see lots and lots of areas they will get access to. So just be mindful of the people that you add as team admins, obviously people that you trust and to manage your team. So that's a good one there. Now, a couple of things to point out here. People inside of your team are also the ones for those features where you are working as a team. And you're probably thinking, what do you mean by that, Marcus? Well, for example, the feature private comments. on Proof. So PageProof Enterprise feature called Private Comments. It can be added to Teams Plus, by the way. If you have a Teams Plus account, you can add private comments. Now, the thing about that is that you're able to go into your proof and you're able to put a comment on and mark it as private. By marking it as private, it means that the reviewers in the workflow can't see your comment, it's invisible to them, but the people in your team can see your comment. And this means you can have almost like a separate stream of commenting going on private to your team as opposed to open to everybody on the workflow. So private comments really leans heavily on this team feature. So again, be mindful of who's in your team. And a good tip would be don't add your clients or anybody that you don't want to see private comments into your team. That's not a good idea. Okay. Same with the invisible reviewer comments. That's another feature used for particularly catalog production or where you've got a couple of competitors who might need to look at a proof. The invisible reviewer comments feature means that those competitors that are in the workflow, they can see the proof, they can place comments on the proof, but they can't see each other's comments. That's great. But people in your team can see all of their comments. So again, a couple of features that lean heavily on the team feature inside of PageProof. So those are people inside of your team, which is great. Okay, a couple of things here. Also, obviously, you can search, you can deactivate people, so you can use this pop-down menu to go and look at the people that might be, invites pending. So use the menu to just check those out as you do this. And if you need to, for some reason, download all of the team members, you can download them from here as a CSV. So you've got those if you need to submit lists of users, you can do that. Okay. So let's have a look now at what that means. I said to you that we are able to take a look at, going in and setting a few different settings, which affects the way PageProof works with your team. So I'm just going to go back here and click into so you can see this is my PageProof setup that we were looking at previously. And you'll notice down the bottom, this has got the invisible reviewer comments switched down here. So that was what I was talking about, where each reviewer outside of the team can only see their own comments, but people inside the team can see all of the comments. So that is the feature inside of there that I was talking about. Let's go take a look at the team address book, the team settings here. And if you go down to settings, there is an option here for under features. There's an option here for Teams Plus and Enterprise called the include team members in my address book settings. Now, the great thing about this, if you switch this on, it means now that when you go and type in an email address in a field where you're putting an email address, it's going to auto suggest people that are inside your team, which is super useful. If you've got everybody in your organization already sitting inside of your team, inside of PageProof, and you just don't want to type out their full email address every single time, if you switch this feature on, then anybody inside your team will be auto-suggested as you fill out an email address, and I'll show you that in a moment. So we'll go take a look at that again. So back inside of here, if I come in and just start typing MAR, it starts showing me all the people that match that are inside of my team. They just automatically show up inside of here, and it also shows me people from my own personal address book as well. So that's where the team feature is super useful. Okay, let's take a look at a couple of extra things that I want to go through today, and that's having a look at groups. So we've covered users and people that are reviewers. We've covered what constitutes someone in your team and what that gives you when it comes to team. And then the next thing I want to cover over was groups. Now, groups is a brand new feature. It's an enterprise feature of PageProof. And what this means is that you can come up to your menu, go to team, and you will see team groups right here. If you click into team groups, it shows you all of the groups that are being created by your team. And what is a group? A group is a group of people. And this is where you can create a group. You can then put people into groups. So you'll see I've got a marketing team here. These are all the people that I've added by hitting the plus symbol here. And you can also set the role, the default role you would like to have for them in the workflow. When this group gets added to the workflow, it's going to set this role automatically for that person. So this is a great way of making sure you've got everybody grouped up in the way you like it, and then you can add them to your workflows. And I'll show you that very, very soon. Now, the way this works, you'll see that we've got a little hash here. So hash legal team, hash product, hash creative. You just keep on making as many groups as you need, putting people into those groups. People can be in multiple groups at the same time, by the way. So you can have people in the same group. So you can just simply go in and add people, and duplicates of people in different groups is totally fine to do. And also people inside of here, they can be internal and external. So groups don't look at your team. It enables you to add in whoever you need. So if you want to put someone inside the legal team who's from an external legal counsel, just pop in their email address and you can set the role that they are inside of that group. All right, so groups, internal team members, and external people as well. All right, so really, really flexible and powerful. Now, if you come back and you want to go into your team and go to team members, you'll notice over on the right-hand side that we actually show which groups those people belong to, the ones that are in your team at this stage. So you can see, for instance, Imogen here, I can see Imogen belongs to the creative team. All right, so for your team members, we also show you which group they belong to. But just to reiterate, groups can have people internally and external people as well. Now, how do you use one of these famous groups? Let me show you. So here I am inside of a new workflow, and I want to put in a group in here. So I just click in, type hash, and it shows me the user groups. So they list down here. If I want to put the marketing team in here, I just click on marketing and boom, they just all appear. There we have it. Filled out their marketing team, and it set their roles automatically as well, which is a really, really great feature. So this is a way you can populate your workflow really quickly on the fly by just putting in the groups that you want. And you can just keep on going. And it's going to also remove those duplicates if you have any duplicates in here. But if I say I want the legal team in here as well, just choose legal, boom, they get added. So this is a way you can create. And you can go through and, another step here, I might want to put the creative team in here. So just choose creative, boom, they go in here. So very, very quickly, you can see that you can create your workflows on the fly, and you don't have to have a workflow template for this, and a workflow template for that, and a workflow template for that. You can actually just add the groups in as you need them. So very, very powerful, super flexible way you can do it. Now, I'm going to go back again. We're going to go new workflow because I want to show you something else that you can do. You're also able to add in and this is a tip, you can create almost shell workflow templates that just maybe have a step or two that you don't know who the people are that you're going to put in. You'll decide that at the time. So here I am creating a proof. I'm going to go to the workflow and I'm going to choose my design review workflow template. And you'll notice I've got a design check step here. I've then got a content review step, which is empty. So you can create workflow templates with empty steps in them. And then I've got my final approver. Now my content review, I'm not sure who's going to do content review, but I can come in and say, well, for today and this proof, I know that the legal team need to look at this content. So I just choose legal team, send proof. Done. So you can have empty steps in your workflow that can be filled on the fly as you need them. And it cuts down the number of templates that you may need to create because people can just, at the time of making the proof, put in the appropriate group into that workflow step. So it really speeds up things and keeps things very, very clear. Now, other areas you can use these, for example, if I want to come into here and add more owners to the proof, I can just type the hash, and I can add those in wherever I see the email address. You can put people into the workflow. So really, really useful feature for adding people in bulk to your workflows. And again, it's really useful. I'll just do that one again. So if I choose the design review, so I'll go back out, we'll choose design review again. I chose the legal team. This time for this new proof, it might be marketing who's going to do the content review. So I can just choose marketing and in it goes. Now, one last thing to note when it comes to the final step. This is the final step of my workflow. If I put a group into here, if I choose legal team, you'll notice that everybody goes in, but they are approvers. So it ignores the roles inside of the group. It'll bring the people from the group in, but because it's the final step of the workflow, they're going to go in as approvers by default. Okay, so that's just a tip to note. If you just have that final approver step, it's going to ignore, because we don't have inside of the final step, you don't have reviewers, gatekeepers mandatory. All right, so just note that if you do that, everybody's going to go in as an approver. So hopefully that's super clear. So groups, we have help articles on the groups. So go to help.pageproof.com. You can look up groups and you'll be able to see how you can set up groups, how you can use them, where you can use them, and hopefully they will be something that you will adopt and use inside of your workflows. So that groups feature available in PageProof Enterprise, really, really great addition to PageProof. And it's been something that the team have been working on for a while, and it's been greatly requested by PageProof users. So that's PageProof groups. So just to recap, reviewers can be anybody. This is going back to the very, very start. You can add into these workflows anybody you need, both internally and externally. You can add anybody into a PageProof workflow, and regardless of who they are, just pop in their email address and they're able to leave feedback. So that's super simple and very flexible. Team members, these are people that are added to your team. So they're under the team menu. Team members, these people get access to your PageProof account and can send out proofs. They become part of the private comments and invisible reviewer comments and those sort of features. So these are people that are close to you. These are people that work for you and around you. So team members are inside your organization, or people that you're working with. Typically, you don't put your customers or reviewers in as team members because they get a bit too much access. You can also switch on team administrators. You can add as many team administrators as you like who can help admin your account. The third thing is the team address book. Again, go to the team menu. If you have Teams Plus or Enterprise, you can go into settings, features, and switch on the team address book. That will then auto suggest people that are in your team while you're typing out your email addresses in the workflow, so you don't autocomplete. I'll also point out, actually, this is a new tip. If you go to your profile, your personal profile, you can go to address book inside of here, and you're able to go in and you can add people into your personal address book. So that's there as well if you want it. You can also do that. And then lastly, the groups, PageProof Enterprise. So you're able to create groups and add groups into your workflows, so you can really quickly fill out your workflows without having to type in email addresses over and over again. So those are the features and the things I want to cover off today. So thank you very much, everybody, for your time. Look out for the next PageProof Academy coming up very, very soon. And look out for the recording. If you want to share this with others, we'll make this available and you'll be notified so you're able to share this with others. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.